Hey, what's up? Wait. Hey, what's up, guys? So today I'm doing something again I haven't done before. I don't think I've actually sat down and gave my whole story to anyone up till now. I don't think I've done this before. I've told bits and pieces to people, but I've never really sat down and or wherever told someone my whole story. Um. So anyway, I don't know. I guess we'll just get started. Really know how you go into these things. But yeah, I guess you could say back when I was younger, this is like one of the first little interesting little tidbits about me. Is apparently when I was younger, I was told, well, my parents was told that I had a severe speech problem. Apparently it was really bad. I remember back in kindergarten, first grade, just people had a hard time understanding what I was saying. There was that aggravation, sometimes like it wasn't too bad, but there was still sometimes I was getting a little annoyed because like people couldn't understand what I was saying apparently, and no matter how slow and slow I talked or try to enunciate things, it's just like apparently there's like a barrier between me and them. So I don't know. You can take that as you will, but I feel like that's it was just one way that the devil just tried to keep my mouth shut. So I just gonna throw that out. That was something interesting that I heard about years ago. And I remember it was before I started kindergarten because I didn't do pre-K. So before kindergarten, I had I guess a year with this at this one place, and then it was first grade. They put me back into it at the school, and that was 4 years at school. Anyway, I mean, I had a good life. Uh, had a good home life. Raised in church. Um, had good friends. Kind of boring up to that point until like you get to the fun teenage years. That's when life for everybody starts getting. If you don't have a bad childhood, life starts hitting you when you start hitting your teenage years. So me, me and my family, we went through something that I hope and I pray that no one would ever have to go through. And that was in my seventh grade year, the last half in March of my seventh grade year. We was involved in a horrific nightmare car accident. Me and my family, we were all good. You know, no one was harmed on our side. Um, I'll discuss like I don't have a problem talking about it, but I don't know how it'll go on YouTube and with their system and all that stuff. But needless to say, it was a very traumatizing event. What happened was two people, for whatever reason, decided they was going to walk back and forth across the divided highway. I'll go back and give some other strange like little details later, but since I already got to this point, I'll just continue on. And I don't know if I've already said this just now or earlier or not, but yeah, they was both drunk apparently. I never really had a desire to drink alcohol. Um, when I figured out all this crazy wild information, and yeah, that was just another reason not to even want to think about trying a sip of alcohol. You know, I knew it messes with your judgment and all that, but like Yeah, this was just a wild, wild, insane night. Um, but before I guess I go any further, I had a feeling that this night was off before um we even left the house. We had a one vehicle for our family, you know. Dad goes and works. We take him to work before mom drops us off at school, and then we go pick him up whenever he gets off. And this one day, apparently, he had to work a day, a really late day. I think it was, if I had to guess, it was maybe like, I don't know, it was late. Like, I can't even remember the time. It was after 7. It was dark. And, we was waiting around, waiting for dad to let mom know, hey, I'm ready, come pick me up. And it was right when we opened the front door. I did not say a word, but I remember it was the wildest thing. It was the darkest night I have seen in my life. At that point, and even up till now, I've never seen a night as dark as this night. It was more pitch black. I can't even describe how dark it looked to me. And apparently, between me and my siblings and my mom, I was the only one that noticed something was weird. Like, it was just wild. I can't even describe how dark, deep, and horrible of a feeling I felt. Like instantly, it was just so weird because I remember right when I saw the darkness. Like I was not sleeping before, but like all of a sudden, I felt, I felt like I was sleeping. I was sleepy, and I had this horrible feeling in me. I couldn't pinpoint what was going on. I didn't, and I just stopped. Everybody else went out and out of the front door, and I was standing there, and I was just staring, like looking into this pitch black night sky, just this darkness. And I did not know what it was about, but of course, hey, we all got to go. So I was standing there for, I don't know, a little bit, and then come out, close the door behind me, and I fell asleep the whole time. You know, felt like I was going to go to sleep, take a nap, and I was like, yeah, I don't know, it just, I fell asleep the entire time. Went over there, picked that up. Like I said, back to the story. Um, Driving back home, Dad's driving us home, and I'm fighting sleep as long as I can, and I'm fixing to pass out. And then, right when my eyes close for just a few seconds, that's when I heard a loud thud and crackling, and my eyes, of course, I jumped and my eyes popped up. And then, like, it was, I couldn't tell you at that moment. Like, I didn't know what was going on. None of us knew at the time what happened. Um, I just remember, like I said, what I just told you, and then I heard this really loud thud, 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 and I did not know what it was. I could not even tell you if we ran over something or it went right over us. Couldn't tell you. Like it was the whole van just rocked. And of course, as you can imagine, chaos was going on the inside. And Dad figured out, like something is wrong. They was going, just discussing things like, was it a tree or something? And then there's no trees there, so they're trying to figure stuff out. And next thing you know, van gets pulled over in the median. Dad rushes into the night. Mom's concerned for Dad, and she told me I'm the only other dude. It's just me and my dad, the only two dudes in the family. Um, and Mom wanted me to go with Dad out there. Everyone else stayed in the van. And I don't know. I think I left my shoes at home. I didn't put any shoes on, like no flip flops or nothing. Like I was just like, just go in there, come back, whatever. So I remember it's a miracle I didn't get my feet cut. But I remember just crawling up from the back of the van, going to the driver's side door, and I'm looking, and I just could not see anything. I looked and I looked, and I was like, I cannot see where he's at. I told Mom, I don't know where he's at. And then I turned back, and then it was like, I don't know where this bright light, I guess there's this, oh, wait, I don't know where this vehicle came, but there's a vehicle or some sort of light that shined, and I was able to see where my dad's at. So without thinking, I just start rushing over there with my dad. I don't know why I'm getting, well, forgive me. I felt fine. I don't know. I promise I don't struggle with this. But anyway, go out there with dad, and sure enough, I figured out what happened. Somebody's laying there on the ground, not moving, you know, and some other random dude come to find out he was with this person, and we figure out the information later. Like I told you earlier, that they was for some reason going across back and forth in the median, not the median, the divided highway, just going back and forth for whatever insane reason. And apparently there's a dude across the business. I don't know, across the other side of the divided highway. I guess he saw things and he rushed over. So me, I'm in shock, like what's going on here? And obviously I knew, but you know what I'm saying. It's just I don't remember any other details. I guess it was like that defense. I don't know, lack of better terms right now, so we can keep time going. That defense mechanism where your mind and your brain like jots details out of stuff, uh, to protect you while you're in a traumatic event. I don't really remember much of the lady. But yeah, just laying there. Now, they didn't see no cuts or nothing, but I'm pretty sure there would be damage to her. And but I didn't see anything. Just laying there, eyes wide open, not moving. And I do the only thing that I know to do. I'm there with my dad, and they're discussing while somebody's called the police, and obviously all this stuff, and getting emergency services out here. And I do the only thing that I know to do at this time as a 7th grader. I just was praying. I did not know what to do. Can't even tell you everything that I was praying about, And at a certain point, it just felt like eternity. It just felt like eternity that went by. And before the emergency services got there, the police and the ambulance and all that stuff, I just remember, like, while I'm praying for everything going on, I had like this really, it was the Lord. And it's just kind of something that stood out. Was very, I wouldn't think of anything of it. Like, this would not be my go-to at this time, but it was, I felt this thought pop in my head to pray for her heart, her salvation. And at this time, it really, it hit me hard, because that told me, I mean, for whatever reason, like, yeah, you ain't gonna make it. I mean, didn't look like it anyways, but it hit me really hard, guys. And I kind of held off for a little bit And I'm like, what? Why? Like, I'm confused. Like, man, I don't know. It's hard to explain all these emotions that was going on in me at this time. And I end up doing what I feel like I need to do. I was obedient and I prayed. I prayed for her. Yes, hey, if she ain't right with you, Lord, she's got time right now still before it's too late. Let her get things right with you. When I finally finished this little prayer, that's when the emergency services came. They did their job, and there's that. I'm sorry, I went a little longer than expected. I was not going to go that far, but hey, that's probably the longest part, maybe. And after that, I don't know what it did to me. Sure it messed me up somehow, but did something to me. Well, go figure, obviously, right? And it didn't hit me bad as others, but I made it. We made it through that horrible situation, and we trusted the Lord through that entire horrific nightmare. In our time, we all healed from it. And another weird, interesting tidbit was when this was all over, I remember we all got back in the van. We're driving back home. And I remember Dad, he made a statement. And he said, now all of a sudden, it looks so bright out here now. And when he said that, I noticed it as well. After the accident and that horrific nightmare was all over, the night was not as dark as it was. It was just a normal night darkness. I can't explain, like I said, how dark it was before, but after that horrific nightmare was all over, apparently Dad noticed and he saw what I was seeing without me knowing, and everyone else, it was just a normal night darkness to them. After that, not long after that, it was like 2 years later, I was in 9th grade. Probably it was just a mix of a whole bunch of things. I'm sure it was still, yeah, that was still, I was working through things with that. Like I said, it really wasn't nothing. I don't know. At that time, I probably did need to see a specialist about it, but like I felt fine. I just had like random weird moments. And it was very, very few. I can't even tell you. I think it's like 1 or 2 times I had like this little mini blow up. Anyway. Trying to think, guys. Oh yeah, 9th grade year. That was one of the blow ups. Somebody, for some weird reason, was making some sort of, well, I guess since I brought that up, I guess I'll tell you. One of the blow ups was somebody, for some reason, like, so he was reading something in literature class, and one of these stories had something, and one of the classmates was like doing something very weird and bizarre, trying to joke around about something, about a situation that I just described. And nobody knew in my class. So I took it as like, it's just the devil trying to get under my skin and, bother me, bring up some emotions that I thought was gone at that time. But yeah, I didn't do anything too crazy. I mean, it wasn't bad, but I kept my mouth shut. Whatever. At the end of class, one of my close friends said, yeah, I had like three friends probably, really, really close, like my bros, they knew about it. I opened up to them very vaguely about it, and yeah, I just remember, like, one of them was talking, and he could tell, like, he came to me after class. He saw, like, I was not right, like something was visibly wrong with me. I was in distress, and uh, trying to keep myself cool, keep my emotions like chill, but I just felt like this anger rising up in me, and I was like, yo, I need to do something, but I'm like in my right mind, like I just feel like I was so mad. I was like, well, what kind of person would like joke about something like that anyways? But like anyway, like I just was like I was wanting to like tear the whole room up, just trying to get this anger in me out and this I don't know what, all these emotions, these negative emotions that it was coming up at me in this moment. So of course I was like, yeah, you can't do that, bro. So yeah, I remember a teacher, poor little teacher, she was over there she's whatever class is done, she was doing her work, and I'm just venting, to my friend, and I was like, I got to do something because if not, I'm like, I got to get this out. So I just like I was in my mind enough to know not to hit the desk as hard as I possibly could because if so, I'm gonna hurt my fingers. I'm gonna bust something up and break some bones or something, So I just I gave a good hard hit to it, but like I said, I held back. Oh man, I did not tear into that sucker, and I just remember calling my poor teacher didn't know what was going on. And my friend, he's just yeah, he's like he was shocked, of course, because I'm Mr. Calm Cool and Collected, and I'm doing this, and he backed up like one step, he's just like okay, give him some space, and I just saw the teacher jump from her chair, She jumped up and she fell back in her chair and she looked up. She was all wide-eyed, and uh she don't know anything's going on and I'm at this point like, yo, that anger's like, oh my goodness, it's flaring up in me. I'm just ready to start chunking crap. And I'm like, boy, I wanted to start just welling into that desk, just getting everything out. And I was like, you can't do this, man. You're going to hurt yourself. And the only thing I did was she didn't know nothing was going on, but she was, the only thing she knows, she just, Mr. Quiet boy in the back class, just like reared back and hit the desk. And I just started yelling, something along the lines of, you don't joke about things like that, And, I'm trying to like not bust out crying because when I get that mad, it's just like, you start seeing tears forming in my eyes. You better back up. You better back up. Just don't give me some space. Don't you keep pushing. He wasn't, but I'm just saying in general, don't push. Because I'm at the end and I'm fixing to like lose control. I haven't done it before, but been a couple times. Got really close. The Lord's helped me a lot with my anger, and people shocked that I have this anger in me. He's kept it behind the scenes really well. Anyway, there's that. And I was dealing with some other stuff, like other teenagers do, just nothing really, just normal teenage stuff, dealing with rejection and all this stuff, and yada this, and just this typical normal stuff. But I had this horrible situation that popped up in the past in 7th grade. Now it's just not normal. People don't deal with this. This is horrible. And at a certain point during 9th grade year, I don't know why, but like I just started dealing like I was going into depression, you could say. I mean, it was depression back. There ain't no to it. No sugarcoating it, big boy. Thought myself. I'm trying to be straight up with y'all and honest and just transparent, just throwing this stuff out here at y'all. And anyway, yeah, I was depressed and I was working through things and I knew that the Lord could help me through this, and there's nothing wrong with getting professional help. And if I absolutely got to the point where I needed and I felt like, yo, we got to do it, I know I could have went to my parents and told them, hey, I got this stuff going on, and we could go to one. But I felt like this is something that me and the Lord could work through together. I'm putting all my faith in Him, For whatever reason, this happened to us, specifically us. Out of everyone on the road, the busy road that night, it was us that dealt with it. I don't believe in coincidences. I don't believe in it. But I was trusting him. I'm like, yo, we went through this, trusting you to do your job, help me through this horrible moment. And while I'm at it, let me find something real quick. Okay, we're back, guys. And I had a friend at church during the sometime, I don't remember if it was 7th, 9th grade year, but as you can see here, he gave me this. I still have it in my wallet. I have a printout of it. He gave me this poem, and it's meant the world to me. And I've always kept this in my heart, and like I said, it's still in my wallet. But this is a beautiful poem. I'll read to you. I know y'all could look at it, but I'll read it. As you see, it's called Footprints. One night, a man had a dream. He dreamed he was walking along the beach with the Lord. Across the sky flashed scenes from his life. For each scene, he noticed 2 sets of footprints in the sand, one belonging to him and the other to the Lord. When the last scene of his life flashed before him, he looked back at the footprints in the sand. He noticed that there was many times along the path of his life, there was only one set of footprints. He also... Sorry, guys. I did not plan for that. He also noticed that it happened at the very lowest and saddest times in his life. This really bothered him, and he questioned the Lord about it. Lord, you said that once I decided to follow you, you'd walk with me all the way. But I have noticed that during the most troublesome times in my life, there is only one set of footprints. I don't understand why, when you needed, but I needed you the most, you would leave me. The Lord replied, my precious, precious child, I love you, and I will never leave you during your times of trial and suffering. When you see only one set of footprints, it was then that I carried you. As you can see, that poem, it still has a special place in my heart. It's when we follow the Lord and we put our hope and our trust in Him. Going back to big screen. He does not promise that life is going to be peachy. It ain't going to be tiptoe through the tulips. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be on easy street. Like, it's just, He promised that He's going to be with us. That we will deal with trials and tribulations in our life. But that He will be there with us. And when we can't walk, and we can't get through these hard times, He'd pick us up, and He's going to get us through it one way or another. We'll walk with Him all the way until life just keeps punching and beating the snot out of you until you collapse, and you're like, Lord, I can't make it. I can't go any further. I gotta stop. I gotta take a break. I can't keep going. And then that's when the Lord just bends over and He picks you up. He's going to carry us through, no matter what you go through in life. No matter what, He ain't going to leave us in these horrible moments.
when we wonder where he's at, it's because we got our eyes on the storm. And we forgot. We were worried about this right over here, and he's right beside us the entire time. We start getting overwhelmed with what is going on in life, and we just collapse. He is going to pick us up, and he's going to carry you through it. I don't know what you're going through in life. Don't forget, he is never going to leave you. It might feel like it, and you might not be able to see him because you looking at the storm, and we're not looking at him. But he ain't going to leave us. We got to go through things, I believe, in this life so we could use whatever we go through in our life and help someone out. But that's why I'm sharing this. That's why I'm recording this, and I'm almost done, guys. I know it's half an hour. But just a couple more real quick things that is very important, and I'd let the whole world know my testimony so far. But yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, like I said, just depression ended up keep getting worse, and there was a certain point, randomly, I had the devil planted this thought in my head, it's just quick thought. And I said it out loud, and when I heard it, I knew something's up, and I'm like, yo, all right, red flag up, big boy. Gonna keep trusting the Lord, we'll make it through this. But I was like, yeah, if this don't work, we're gonna get some help. We're gonna go see a professional. Because I wasn't gonna do anything to harm me. But the devil popped a random thought in my head, and it was something. It basically, I wanted the pain to stop. I wanted it to end. You get what I'm saying? And when I thought that, and that just brief statement came out of my mouth there in the lunchroom, and I was like, I'm not going to do it. That's never going to happen. I'm not doing that. I believe in the Lord's going to help me get through this. And I don't want life to end. You know what I'm saying? This is one of those trials. I don't understand why. But for whatever reason, I got to go through this sucker, We got to get to the better days are ahead. So if you've had those thoughts, or you still do, don't give in. Life is so worth it. Just keep fighting. And when you feel like you can't find something to fight for, and nothing that you come up with to keep you going for the next day, just fight for your next breath. Just fight for the next breath. Better days are coming. Life does have its ups and downs. It's not perfect. It's like, this world it's a fallen world. Dealing, with all this sin, thanks to man falling at the Garden of Eden, we all go through problems with life and difficulties, trials, whatever you want to call it. Good and bad things is going to happen in life. Some people has it worse than others. But there's hope and faith in faith in the Lord, and we can trust upon Him that He will not leave us or forsake us. We just got to be brave and strong enough to keep holding on to Him, and keep our eyes on Him through all things, the good and the bad times. And I made it through, as you can see. Everything was good, and yeah. But during that 9th grade year, while I was in that dark place, I listened to the devil, and I started looking at things you should not be looking at on the internet. Put 2 and 2 together, guys. One of the lies that was being put in my head was during rejection time frame. Dealing with that is just nobody love you, nobody wants you, something's wrong with you, and you ugly. You know what I'm saying? Many people deal with that stuff, especially probably around that time, teenager. Probably say that's why I said teenage problems, right? And well, I guess like I said, on top of what I've had to deal with, this is on top, and um fighting those horrible thoughts of making all the pain in. Like I said, I would never go through with it. Never will. Never wanted to. I just had. It was just like that weird in the moment. Like I don't know. It was just bizarre. And I caved in, and I had to. I fought that off as long as I could, but I failed that department, and the Lord has broke that off of me in my life for a while, and I'm so thankful and grateful that He did. But I know what it's like to be hooked on something and be addicted. Being hopeless, wanting the pain to end no matter what. Like I said, I wasn't going to go through with that idea, but I know, like, it's life can be hard, and we are just trying to do our best to make it through this life on this big blue planet, floating out here in space. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I'm just glad and thankful that I put my hope and trust in the Lord, because if He was not my source, my strength, my firm foundation, my solid rock, when I could not stand, He had me. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for Him, I don't know. So hopefully my testimony, my story will be helpful for you guys. And I'm sorry it's been long enough. Really not much else I could say. Just keep fighting, hold on, hang in there. I know these days are crazy nowadays, and there are crazier days ahead. Don't lose faith and don't lose hope. If you do already feel like, you know, hopeless, wanting to end things, please call. I know they have the suicide hotline. Do not hesitate. Get help. Reach out. Talk to somebody. But I highly recommend put your faith and hope in the Lord as well. He won't leave you or forsake you. He'll be with you all the days of your life. Even when you don't feel like He's there, you feel like He is gone, and you're there in the middle of the storm, He's with you. He ain't gonna leave you. You just can't see Him right there beside you because you're focusing on this massive storm that you were in, and it's blinded you. So, anyway, I hope that this is helpful for you guys. And like I said, check out Lord Jesus Christ. Highly recommend it. Get you a Bible if you don't have one, or download a Bible app. And yeah, if you want to give your heart to the Lord, let Him be the Lord and Savior of your life. Remember, all you gotta do is ask the Lord to come into your heart, to be the Lord and Savior of your life. Believe in Him, that Jesus came to this earth, that He died for us. He lived a perfect life. He is fully man, fully God. He knows how we feel in our life, all the problems we're going to have. He understands, like abandonment, betrayal, rejection, you name it. He's felt all of these emotions and stuff that we will ever go through. He's felt that. And He came, He died on the cross, and He rose back from the dead, and He's in heaven right now, waiting for the Lord to tell him to go back and go get your bride. And then after that, tribulation's going up. And yeah, all you gotta do is confess. Also, confess that you are a sinner. You are not perfect. You need Him, and confess your sins to Him. That's it. It's not complicated. What saves you is your genuine heart in talking to the Lord. It's not just a ABC. It's not a method. It's you crying out to the Lord in sincerity, and He will be there, and He will be with you all the days of your life. All right. I love you guys. Bye.